The NFL is expected to move to a 17-game schedule, and some players took issue with it, with Alvin Kamara calling it dumb as hell. I'm Robin Lundberg here with Bill Enright. And Bill, I don't think any fans are going to be upset about the notion of one extra game, but you do understand, even if it was part of the CBA, why the players might not be in love with it, because it is tough to play, one NFL game, let alone 17 of them.
Yeah, so there's three groups, right? So it's the people that make money off adding an additional game. That's the NFL owners and all their media partners. Then there's the fans. They're happy because it's an extra week of football. That third group, they're the ones that are upset, and they're the ones that their body takes the biggest impact. They're the ones that their health comes more of a factor by adding an additional game, and that's the players, and rightfully so. They should be verbalizing their frustration. It would have been better for them if they verbalized it a little bit more while they were negotiating in this new CBA. And there's going to be a lot more injuries, a lot more pain. And what the NFL will say that, well, we're going to take some steps to reduce the offseason workload, right? They'll probably go from 4 preseason games to 3. Maybe they'll reduce some of the OTAs or the mini camps. But the fact is that the NFL players will, in fact, be playing 17 games instead of 16, and that's going to take a toll on their bodies.
But how much difference is it otherwise? Obviously, that's a significant thing. But when you're talking about, the amount of teams that wind up staying in it for longer in the year, the importance of the regular season, I don't think that diminishes too much with a 17th game.
I'm really taking a look at the stats and team records, because we know that a 10-6 team, okay, well, you had a pretty good season. Well, is 11-6 now the new 10-6? There's no longer teams that are 500, so we won't see 8-8. So what is that baseline multiplier of having, oh, you had a pretty good season? It's not 9-7. Is it now 10-7? So that factors in to how we have to think about teams and how good or poorly they had. And then also stats, right? A 1,000-yard running back or a 1,000-yard rusher in a season. Well, that was pretty good in 16 games, or a 4,000-yard passer. In fact, since this change, since teams went to a 16, or since the NFL went to a 16-game regular season, only the Bears and the Jets since 1978 have never had a 4,000-yard passer. Joe Namath had 4,000 yards for the Jets, but he did it in 14 games. So now we have to kind of change the way or rethink the way we analyze players and how they did during the season by adding that additional game. It's going to be a learning experience. There's going to be a curve of how we analyze teams and players going forward.
Yeah, the numbers will be a little bit different now that 17 is the new 16.